Welcome back. We are continuing our conversations with this year's Big Tell filmmakers. The Big Tell is a regional filmmaking program that offers grants for the production of short documentaries. This year, 10 filmmakers featured stories from California's Great Central Valley. And you can watch the Big Tell Showcase right here on KC24 Saturday, November 26th at 8 p.m. And that is where you can see this next film in its entirety. We take a peek into the film Endangered Language. Let's take a look.
Tolak.
There's 3 native speakers left.
Totoko nula. Isiyak.
And our language is highly endangered.
Puhunu.
It's a language of Yosemite, and you would think there would be more effort towards keeping it alive.
So joining us now is filmmaker Jennifer Robin, here for a second time with me, and your film is called Endangered Language. So what is it about?
Well, all over the world, indigenous languages, and this has been going on for history, have disappeared. And Mariposa, the Southern Sierra Miwok language, there's 3 language speakers left.
Oh my goodness.
Right, and they're all over 80. So
Yeah.
they're the ones burdened with the dictionaries, the audio recordings, the coming to class for like it's a lot of pressure.
Right.
And so language to me is important because there's so much wadded up, like with the baskets. There's so much wadded up in these simple concepts. So just language. So we get to showcase the language of Yosemite, like my favorite place on the planet. So finding and helping and wanting to showcase that aspect was easy.
So on my bucket list, before I die, I want to learn another language because it makes learning other languages even easier. And we do not do a very good job in America of starting that really young. And as you get older, it gets even harder.
Yes.
So I love this idea. How did you find this idea, or how did you come up with it?
Well, I do radio weekly on KVMR Resilience Radio. So 50 people a year, these concepts start clumping together. So even in just California, because California had a different history when it came to interacting with the indigenous people. Once gold was found here, there was 0 interest in making agreements.
Yeah.
So it's something that started to go pretty quick. Whereas I'm also Mississippi Band Choctaw, and there was time for reservation agreements, for let's make a dictionary. We have dictionary. Like, we have all this stuff because there wasn't this gold rush of wealth in the way.
Right.
So very different history, and a lot started to go really quick. So whatever is left to me is just magic.
Yeah, and we want to preserve that and make sure that, and nowadays I think it's great because we can actually have audio recordings of it, so we can hear it. So you had this idea and you had this subject for a story. Did the story end the way that you thought it was going to, or did it branch off into other areas?
Well, I only had 2 hours of content.
Oh, wow.
To narrow down to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because this content becomes something else. So we have Anthony Cabazoot, who is a tribal member and the language facilitator. We have him, and he wasn't going to go on film at first, but we got him on film. So having just these different levels of how people were learning language was huge to me, and how, like you said you want to learn another language. Well, we learned, not in this video, but in the extra footage, that this is one of the top 5 hardest languages and one of the first languages here in California.
So are there students who are, how do we motivate people to learn these languages?
Well, and that's part of the thing. I applied for the Big Tell. doing life, the Oak Fire hit in Papoom. So I found out Monday, a few days after the Oak Fire, that I have to now ask people to talk to me when they lost homes. We touch on the video on what materials were lost, you know, things that were out of print. And, you know, she actually ended up getting a book from Brazil because that was the only place in this random bookstore that had the Miwok dictionary. So it's hard to motivate kids in general, so that's like a 5-part series we can do, like tasers.
We do a whole curriculum.
You know, and like you said, starting young. And in this video, we give names of Yosemite landmarks in language, and for some reason, those stick. So there's an interactive aspect to the language, slowing down enough to know what a woodpecker is in this region, you know, are just little things start to get your brain excited about wanting to observe more. But I barely understand the fundamentals of the English language, and now I'm supposed, but it is important, like we talk about in the film, just simple sentences. How are you? Talking about the weather, pointing at a deer or a raccoon. Those things make a big difference and kind of keep you enthusiastic about your capability of absorbing that language.
And I love when I know sort of the backstory behind why we have certain names. And,
Yes.
and so we have, in California, we have a ton of Spanish influence, and we have a ton of, you know, South American influence. And in Yosemite, we have a ton of native influence. And so it brings a little bit more of an appreciation to where you're from. And you know, 100 or so years ago, people named it for a reason, and people were here. So I can't wait to see the film. I always love the work that you put out in the Big Tell. So I'm excited for this one, and I'm excited for next year because I know that you're going to apply again.
I will keep applying any opportunity that, and I don't, you know, it's hard saying filmmaker because I am nothing without my subject.
Yeah.
And I'm nothing without my incredible audio and video crew, Tyler Phibbs and Chris Borges. So I feel that these people are the ones that make it, you know. So yes, I'm here representing, I'm a filmmaker, but really these people and the heart and soul of the place that I live, like that makes all of it.
Well, your stories always come through on screen, so I can't wait to see it. You can see Jennifer Robbins' film in the Big Tell. We'll tell you where you can watch it online. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me again, Emily. You are so awesome, and the fact that people really do care and are listening and want more just makes me feel enthusiastic to make more.
Well, I'm happy to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
We're dragging you into this.
We get you ready for a kid-free weekend. How Kids Park can take care of your kiddos. No reservations required. Next.
Baked ham that's been slow smoked.